Hello, good evening, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good evening, sir. Happy Sunday, sir. We are fine. How are you too, sir?
I'm all right. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Who else is on the call?
Good evening, sir. Happy
Good
Sunday.
evening.
Good evening,
That
sir.
Moise. Who else spoke now? Is it Moise? Praise. I
Yes,
heard your voice.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes,
Welcome.
sir.
Praise. Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, sir. Thank God.
All right. Great. Who else is here?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Success. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm all right. Who else is online? Who else is online? It's only the four of you. Okay. Let me try and set up my system. Just give me minutes. But while I'm doing that, so the people online, we will take 2 minutes each to share what we learned or what we can remember from the last class. So we will start with praise. Just tell us in 2 minutes, don't overshoot. In 2 minutes, what did you learn from last class? What did you learn differently? Let's go.
Okay. What I learned was that we have different needs when it comes to content writing. And the truth is that you do not have to be an expert in everything. Just pick the ones that you are good in, the ones that you are comfortable in to an extent, and work more on it. And with that, you can do a whole lot. While some people are called to do more, but if you can just do the one you can do, but do the ones to your expertise. Like let there be excellence in it. Okay, so I learned it from the class of yesterday.
All right, that's great. Moise, take your turn.
Okay, good evening, sir. From last class, I learned about who a freelance writer is. And I learned about niche, how niche can give someone authority, and I think trust when client needs one service, like when we specialize on a niche. And there's one thing that still resounds in me, the aspect of when she was telling us about different content formats, when she mentioned list, or she took it her time on that listicle content. And before now, I think I go online to search for like top 5 movies, trending movies. So like when she made mention of that listicle, it made me like refer to those searches I have made. So it made me know the kind of content those things are. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Praise, or was it Praise that spoke first?
Yes, I already spoke.
Okay, should be Success. Success is the person I'm trying to call.
Good evening once again, sir.
Good evening.
I came very late to that class, but when I came, I learned that there is a difference between technical SEO and content SEO. That you can't just say you're a SEO expert. That is very broad. So you have to be specific with the one you're doing, so that you don't get to confuse your clients or people, because it is a very broad it's a very broad niche. So I think that was basically what I learned that day when I came online. I'm yet to get the full cut, the full video, so that I can listen to it again.
All right, great. Chini, what was your takeaway from the last class?
Hello, everybody. Good evening once again. So I learned about niche, content writing and how to find your niche. And what stood out for me was reflect the first one that she said, reflect on your interests, the topics you enjoy writing about. So to be easier to write about things that you have knowledge of or you have interest in, that you could easily flow with it. And there's something you said today about content writer's block. Yes, when you're writing about something that you don't really know about, you would tend to have blockage and stuff. But when you're writing about something that is naturally your interest, it will easily flow. So that was my take home from last class.
Okay, there was something else I said about writer's block on your post today. Can you share that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you first of all talked about writing beforehand. Yes, you talked about writing beforehand. So you don't, as a writer, you don't have to wait till when you have something to write about before you write. At other times, you can prepare your writing, your content before time. Yes. Then you talked about writing based on your interest. So if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's nice. I talked about writing beforehand, and I also talked about writing during your creative zones. Can you talk about
Yes.
can you talk about that? So this is for, I don't know, I want to believe that everybody on this call have their LinkedIn account set up. So we're going to go to that, but talk about the creative zones I talked about to avoid writer's block.
Can we hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, you talked about writing using our creative zone. You said when we try to query our brain outside our creative zone, we get cricket, and that's what we refer to as writer's block. So I did not really understand, but I think what you meant was that we should write within what's the word? Why is my brain failing me right now? Right within something that something you have prior knowledge of, something that okay, like there's a style to writing. Everybody have their unique style of writing. Everybody have their unique pattern of writing and stuff. So right within that circumference, if that's right, right within that, yeah, that circumference, so that you will know. Is when you want to think outside the box too much. That is where you now tend to have writer's block, I think.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I made mention of something called a creative zone. So your creative zone is usually that period of time when you feel most creative, right? If you're a writer, it's that period of the day where you have all your creative juices flowing in the right proportion, and you just see that writing comes easy for you. Now, most people have that creative zone. So that's the word on the comment. I'm leaving the word now in the comment section, creative zone. So a lot of people find it easy to write. If they are video content creators, they find it easy to make videos at that period. If they are podcasters, they find it easy to make podcasts at that period. So always try to write with it around or during your creative zone. Now, you can also find out that during your creative zone, you can create up to 2, 3, 4. How many contents have you? You get ideas just keep coming, and you can use that to create content, and then you can schedule them for different days. So you don't have to wait till, let's say, tomorrow you start thinking of the content you want to put out tomorrow. Does that make sense? So that's another way to avoid writer's block, because most times the brain, when you're trying to, the brain knows how to play tricks. When you're trying to like get it to do something, by just being in a playful mode or not being in the mood to do that with you. So, but in your creative zone, if you take time to understand yourself, you will find out what that is and how it's going to benefit you in the long run. I hope I'm communicating. You can leave a comment if I'm communicating. Can you guys hear me? Please, I hope you people didn't just join the call and nobody's participating.
We can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
All
can
right.
hear you.
So that said, this is already 8:12. Today's class might be shorter than the other classes. So first things first, let everybody sign in. You already know the method of signing in. Your name, today's date, and today's class, and you take a screenshot of it. So let everybody sign in now. So sign in your name, the today's date, and the class. Sign in, everybody sign in. Leave that in the comment section and take a screenshot. All right. So while you're doing that, we're going to be addressing some things one after the other to see where we are. You get, this is a revision class. This is supposed to be a training, but we found need for revision. And so we're mixing revision and training so that when we move ahead to the next stages of the training, we're not lagging behind. And this is the shape the whole training is going to take. As we move and we find area of knowledge gaps, we take a pause and try to fill it up before we keep moving ahead. So while you get, so now we have crossed that stage, I'm going to address the daily challenge. First of all, you guys have to understand that in training to be a writer or in becoming a writer, it is important to inculcate some of the discipline that makes a writer a writer. And one of the things that makes you a writer, you're a writer because you write. You get, if you stop writing, you're no longer a writer. So one of the things we need to help you inculcate in this training is the writing skill, the discipline, the writing discipline. So creating a 30-day writing challenge is not a fluke. It's not just something we just wanted to do. We're doing it because we want to put you in that zone. We want to put you in that mind, in that frame of mind. However, you're going to take this skill at the end of the day, or however you're going to utilize this skill at the end of the day, you have to have the discipline of a writer. There are days where it's not convenient for you and you have to write, you write. There are days where everything will be flowing in the right proportion and you have to write, you would write. So in they say to help someone gain a discipline, you have to make them do a particular thing for 21 days straight. So I'm not actually a fan of the people that have been missing some days, then you use one day and do the post for 3 days. No. What we're trying to train in you is discipline and consistency, not intensity. We're not after you putting out 5 posts a day. We are more after you being consistent with putting out at least 1 post daily. That to us is more what's it called, is progress. You understand? So putting out at least one content a day for 30 days is better to us than putting out 3 content daily for 7 days. Do you get? So if you have been defaulting, and I've seen some people do that, you use a day, you post 3. No, that's not what we are after. We are after you staying consistent with every day. And I have mentioned that you should find your creative zone so that it's possible for you to create multiple content and then you schedule it. You get on in that note so that you don't get caught up with writer's block. So that's for it. For assignments, some people did their assignments. We haven't given feedback on the assignment. And I saw you posting it on LinkedIn. It's not you should follow instructions. You understand? We don't even know the quality of what you're putting out so that you don't go and put out something that people will just be looking at you because it's public. They'll be looking at you and you don't know that you're reducing your rep. So we should be careful. For people that we have already reviewed their work and say, okay, you can use it for a post if you want to, fine. If you made yours and we haven't looked at it, I wonder why you went ahead to use it as a post. So that is also why you need to be connected and ask questions. You get and ask questions. And I also need to be seeing what you're doing. Places I'm supposed to provide guidance, I do that. Now, that said, we're going to go into revision of some of the assignments, right? So this is going to serve like a general revision and so that everybody will just take notes. You understand? So everybody will take notes. So you also who have done your assignment that we have not reviewed, maybe because you submitted late, you need to go back and look at your work and ensure that some of the things I'll be pointing out in this review, you obey them. Does that make sense? Please leave a reaction if I'm communicating. So you obey them and adhere. So this is an assignment from Raji, right? And it was written in this format. I didn't have to do much. The only thing I corrected him on is that he should always justify his content. So if you're using a Word, be it Microsoft Word or Google Doc, a Word document, you justify your content by Ctrl J, or you see this stuff here, alignment, and you pick this justify. So it makes it easier to read. Then your headings can now be centralized. Your headings can be centralized. That is fine. Your different headings, this is what we call headings or headers, right? It can be centralized. So that is the comment. I said this is fair, but it can be better. Always justify your content. The introduction isn't attention grabbing. So you also need to take out time to learn how to write attention grabbing. I think there's somebody's own that I corrected. We would look at that. Then the content needed some more expression and personality. So this was what I was mentioning in the previous yesterday's class when I was saying there has to be you, a touch of you. You understand, especially for contents like this. You get how does the person know what the person is reading? Where is the experience coming from? Are you also a writer? Can you talk about when I was writing about or when I was learning or when I was in the process of becoming? You get so that is the personality I was talking about. If you look at this point, then your outline is okay, but the different sections are begging for more details. So it means that these different sections could have used some more explaining, right? So these were the things I corrected in this. And like I've said, all your headings can be centralized, but the general body of the content should be justified. So another thing I want to point out is we have different ways of titling a subheading or a content. This writing everything in all caps is not really popular. So it's not really popular. You get so you're either using what's it called? You're either using sorry, you're either using a system of first word capital or sentence case. So I'm going to show you what that means. So first word capital is, for instance, how to become a content writer. So you can see that each of the first words here is in capital letter, right? Is in capital letter, right? And then the title of your content should always be in H1 tag, right? H1 tag. For different contents, we have heading 1. Heading 1 is what we call H1. So you can apply this and it gives your content, it makes your content easy to read. So if any other heading after this will now be placed in H2 tag, then any heading under a H2 tag will be placed in H3 tags. So it gives your content a smooth read. So I'm going to show you this, for instance. This title, for instance, is in H1, right? This is in H1, as you can see. This is in H1. So then a heading under it, which is this, would now be placed in H2. In H2. Then if we had another heading under it, so okay, here's a perfect example. Now we have FAQs, right? These FAQs, if you watch here, is saying H2, right? So it's in heading 2. Then all these other headings under the H2 are now H3. So I hope we now understand what we mean by H tags, and it gives it a smooth reading. Like it helps it align the content well. Are you guys understanding my point? Great. So if you're getting what I'm saying, please let me know in the comment section. Then back to here again, we have H2 tag once again, right? As opposed to all the FAQs, all the things that fall under the FAQs and made it to H3. The moment we are done with FAQs and we came here, we came back to H2. And watch the method of titling, first word capital. So this is the most common. If you read most blog pages, this is the most common type. So your H2 are in first word capital, right? So this is the most common type of tagging. So just like as you can see here, first word capital. So back to this. So that's basically this, and ensure to try and make your contents more readable with more explanations. I know we said 500 words, so that's why I'm a bit more confused. So the other way I was talking about is it can be all how to become a so you can see that I'm used to using first word capital, because even while trying to type in sentence case, I'm still trying reflex or subconscious training. You can see I'm still trying to go back to what I like. So this is another method that is used, right? But this is most popular and this is most common. If you read most blogs, this is what they use. This is the other way. So this one is not actually popular. So you know that it is a lot of people assume this as a shouting. So when you're writing everything in all caps, it can be seen as shouting. So while it might not be bad for a title of a content, it's just not popular, and this is like more pleasing. This is like the most commonly used. So I'm going to put that in what color now? So this is the most commonly used. So, all right. Excuse me. Okay, so let's look at the second assignment. So this is for praise. I think she's on the call. So this is for praise. And I'm just going to take. So again, the assignment I was given, most people wrote it in terms of a social media content post. So the idea is not really for social media. The idea is actually for web post, for a website post. So subsequent assignments, you guys should try and take note. I think a lot of people made that same mistake. Then same thing I commented, I just talked about, this is should be H1. I think I made that recommendation. Then I said always use Times New Roman, font size 12, especially when writing something you want to send to someone. So it's a rule of thumb. If you're not using Times New Roman, use Calibre. So 12 for each of them. Any one of them, 12 is always the advised. 12 font size, font style, either Calibre or Times New Roman, right? Then so if it's for web blog, you don't need this. You need your numbering. So that is why I cancel that. So try to put these two in hashtags. Here are some guidelines. So I try to rename that, remove this thing which is for social media and replace it, put them in hashtags. And so basically that's it for this correction. So I'll see the next person's own. I think we'll take two more before Raji. Okay. So this is also, I think I also put this, always be centralized and put in. So the same thing I expressed, and also the same thing, I think I justified this one myself. So the comment is also there, always justify. So please take notes in your own content and then see the style, first word capital. So, and it has to be consistent all through. So also it's not when you start with a sentence case, then you now shift to first word. No, if you're using first word capital, maintain that all through, you get this thing. And I think this is a fine read. This is actually a fine read. I have there's one other one written by Esther. I think that was also a fine read, easy and also scannable. So also make your content easy to read and scannable. The last one we're going to take for this evening before I take us to the next thing we have for this evening. I said today's class will not be long. Where's that? I don't know where that is now. I can't see. There's one by one Esther, and then there's one other one. I think since I can't find them, So, but I think we get the gist. So I'm just going to take us through the next thing we have for today, and then I'll also be explaining as we go along, and I'll bring us back to the worksheet, and then so today we're going to discuss SEO content writing guideline. You can also say content writing guideline because they can pass for content writing, but the reason why we said the reason why I said SEO is because there is a part of it that will specifically address SEO content writing. So this is also the point where you would take notes because you would be needing it. Aside waiting for replays, the replays might not come. People who are waiting for replays, you might be disappointed. And I think I said it from the beginning of the training. The fact that it's being recorded doesn't mean you get to be seeing the replays every day. So don't even capitalize on the replays. Rather use the classes because the replays might not come when you think it will come and how you think it will come. And also there might also be some things that might have been cut out during the replays so that it doesn't get so long and vice versa and all that. So things that will be covered, warning about AI content, general web content writing guideline, SEO content writing guideline, right? They should be moving, right? Why is it not moving? Okay, notes. So don't use any artificial intelligence tool to write your content. So you should do the research yourself and create the content. If we discover the use of AI to write the content, that automatically ends your internship. So the truth is that there's a lot of conversation about AI, and you see them, some of them when you go like say, oh, I am surprised people are still writing content by themselves when ChatGPT or when this or that can do it for you. I think for this stage in your writing career, you should be taxing your brain as opposed to relying on AI, right? You should know the rudiments, like you should know what it takes to create content. You should enjoy the journey you get. So you don't want to pass off that responsibility to an intelligence machine or tool. You need to know what it is, you need to know how it is done. You get. So, and sure, there are AI content checkers that can always be used to check your writing. And also, you should know that some clients are against AI content. You write AI content, send it to them, or they run it through AI checkers and find out that you use AI too. That might just end their deal with you, and you would not know. They might not tell you. You get. So be careful. Try to do these stuffs on your own. You can use AI as a research tool to make your research, to ask questions, and then you use the information combined with your knowledge and maybe further research to now refine your content. But don't just go and tell AI, write this content about this, and then the AI just churns it out and you just take it like that and you say it's your content. You understand? You're no any different from somebody who copies another person's content from the web and uses that as their own. So, but more about AI, I think we have a session about AI or no AI in a future class. So, but this sets the tone. So, these are general writing guidelines that you should take note of, right? You should take note of. First thing, there should always be an inviting introduction, 5 lines max, after your title before diving into the main article. So when you're writing, you should always have an introduction. I think most of us know this, but if you're writing SEO content, don't try to exceed 5 lines in that content, right? You get to know more of this if you start writing web content. Try to, because you want to be sure that you capture the person with the shortest words you get, and not short, but you need to use lesser words to communicate more things. So it's also going to be an act you're going to learn in the long run. So there are people who can say a lot of things with a lot of words. And then there's also the art of saying so much with very fewer words. And that's where content writing in this generation, or content consumption in this generation, is. Nobody is waiting for you to be saying, to be reading your content for 1 hour when they can read and get what you're supposed to say in 30 minutes or in 5 minutes. You get. So 60% of your sentences should be within 20 words. So when you're writing, right? When you're writing, when you're writing your content, 60% of it, you should not write, 60% of your sentences should not be more than 20 words. This is a rule in SEO writing. So you know how you count words. So in this now, there is one word, should is another word. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is 19 words in this sentence, right? In this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In here, you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This sentence is 17 words. This other sentence, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. So if you see that your sentence is becoming, so it means that you'll be using more of simple and compound sentence as opposed to complex sentences when writing. So once you see that your sentence is becoming a complex sentence, you break it and make it another sentence. So it makes the reading easier for the readers. Am I communicating? Just drop a comment. So it's an art. You need to be deliberate. You need to always be looking out for it so that you are in a position that you're communicating. Please, if I'm communicating, leave a comment. Let me know that I'm still talking to people. So same thing with here, you can count the words and you see that it's within the same space, right? So at the end, your content should come together to give well-detailed information on the topic written. The content key phrase should appear on the body of the content at least 4 times, then similar phrases 2 to 3 times. So I think we're going to discuss this in another class too. What's it called? Key phrase. So for instance, key phrase is that word, like is the main reason for your content. For instance, the content on how to become an SEO writer, right? Is a long tail key phrase because it's quite long. The key phrase there is become an SEO writer, right? So that's the word that is the buzzword, if I should use that buzzword. So for instance, a content like this this particular training now, the title is SEO content writing guideline, right? The key phrase for this content can be SEO content writing, right? And guideline can just be, so you can see this is shorter. So we have contents like you can have something like how to dress as a girl. You can have something like marketing 101. So marketing 101 is the key phrase for that content. So what we're saying is that key phrase, the key phrase that you were giving for your content should appear in your content at least 4 times if you're writing a 1,000 word content. And then it should come in the first sentence or the first paragraph. The reason why we're saying the first paragraph is because the people who are reading, they need to be sure that what they have just opened, the content they have just opened, relates to that thing they came to find. So when they see that key phrase there, aside just the search engine, because in the past, people thought it's, because the search engine will read it, you understand? But it's not only about the search engine, right? It's also about the humans who read the content. They need to be sure, you understand? They need to be sure that what they are reading is, or what they just opened. So let's look at this content, for instance, accepted motivation letter for European Institute for Innovation and Technology sample. So the key phrase here is motivation letter for European Institute for Innovation and Technology. You get this and this is just there to complete the title. But the key phrase that people are looking for, somebody can go to key search engine and type motivation letter for European Institute for Innovation and Technology. European Institute for Innovation and Technology is a scholarship body. So anybody searching for this is looking for ways to write the motivation letter to apply for a scholarship. So this particular content is trying to provide a sample for people who are looking for sample. So now you can look at the beginning of this content. One way to scale are you seeing? So by the time the person reading this content sees the person knows that, okay, truly this content is speaking to what I have come for. You get, aside from meeting the eligibility requirement, is to write a convincing motivation letter. So by the time the person reads this opening paragraph, the person knows that this content I have come for, or this content I open would satisfy what I've come for. So that is what we're saying, that the key phrase must appear in your content a couple of times. And we said 3 to 4. Am I communicating? Please leave emojis. Just leave emojis if I'm communicating. Leave an emoji if I'm communicating. Okay. All right. So that's that. So research and learn about transition words. So we have something we call transition words. Words like hence, therefore. So please take notes. I'm already mentioning some transition words. Hence, therefore, in other words, additionally, um, furthermore, but, then. All these things are transition words. What they mean is that they are words that help you connect two sentences together. You understand? There are words that help you connect two sentences together. Am I making sense? I just want to take note of something now so that I don't forget it later. Key phrase. All right. So and ensure you utilize them to make your paragraphs connected. Online readers are different from offline readers, comma. So this is the transition word here. I'm connecting this sentence and this one. So make sure that you break down your message into small bits that would make it easy for your readers to consume your content. So transition words, you have to do a research on transition words. Please note that down. Transition word, general writing guidelines. So here are some general writing guidelines. Use bullet points and numbering where necessary. I think I commented on this on a couple of people's work to make your content easy to follow. Add relevant editors' recommendations in place of read also at the end of your content for research-based content. So always add recommendations you get so that people can follow and check out more stuff. So for instance, here's what we mean. So you can see this content, there's a link here. This link will take this person to another content in case the person needs expanded knowledge about this. There's also another link here. So these are relevant links that will provide more information to readers. So we also have where we call recommended editors recommendation, where you also have other relevant content that they can consume. So this helps. You want to wonder, how does this relate to SEO? The truth is that SEO, when search or engines bring readers that has made a search to your website, they are not only interested in the part of the ways they gauge if the person found value on your website is how long did they stay on your site? Aside the content they read, which other places did they go to? So when you have all these relevant links dropped and maybe the person finish eating first round and say, okay, I want round two. When you go to a restaurant and you're asking for round two, it's either the food is quenching the hunger or the food is delicious. So it's the same way the algorithms calculate or evaluate this. If they brought somebody to your website, one of your pages, and the person stayed a long time there and also navigated to another page, it just tells the what's it called, the algorithm wanting that they are finding value, or the people reading have found value in the content they have suggested. So because of that, they will not be suggesting more of your content or more of that page to people. I hope we're learning something on how some of these algorithms work. If you are, please just leave a comment. So back to this. So like I told you, we will be coming in and going out so that I can be making reference and we are moving along. So add relevant and explain this. Don't copy and paste people's work again and again and again. Don't ever be found. I don't want to finish training you and you are the one that is going to copy people's content. So we've had people who come to our site and just start copying our website verbatim. There was a guy, I nearly took up a case with him, you understand, and he all of a sudden then blocked me on LinkedIn because every time we post the content, his guys goes to our website and just copy everything we have created. And I can't count so many times that people have seen our content on other websites and they send it to us, you understand? So you don't want to be, and it hurts, of course, because we pay serious money to get our contents and our writers. We train our writers, and then somebody will just sit on somewhere and just wait for us to do all the hard work and come and copy. So, but the good thing is that you can't take it away from us. What we know that makes our content rank, that you can even see it, we have it behind on our fingertips. So don't be among those. So after writing, run your work through plagiarism checks and grammar checks. Use Grammarly. So if you don't have a Grammarly account, everybody must open a Grammarly account today. So the website is, I'm dropping the website now, grammarly.com. It's a website that helps you proofread content, and so that it checks some mistakes that you naturally wouldn't have known that are in your writing. You understand? So Grammarly helps you do that. So here's the website, for instance, grammarly.com. I think I left it now in the comment section. So here's it's taking me straight to the app. You could even see some of the works I've been doing in the past couple of days and all that. So this is the website, how to use it. When you have created your account, you see my Grammarly version history, you see all this. So if you want to check a document, you can use upload. If it's saved, you can use upload, or you can just click on new. So if you have something, maybe it's not a document, but you type something and you want to proofread it, you can just paste the stuff here you get, and then Grammarly will help you check it and tell you if there is any issue. So I'm just going to show us how this works. Where's that content I opened before? Is this? So let me use this content for instance. So I know some of us know this, but for the benefit of those who don't, let me provide this. So I'm just going to copy this. So let me not go far. Let me just take let me just take from here. So I'm copying this. I'll just paste it here, right? And then it will show me this. And for experts, for audience, I'll leave it knowledgeable. Formality, this is a formal content. Domain general. So intent, this is to inform. So I'll just click on inform, and then I'll click done. And then the system will just run the check, and then it's already giving me suggestions on things to improve. So for instance, there's a typo here. So even the writer missed it. So we're going to correct that, accept the correction. So there's also a typo here, maybe just, so we're going to correct that. So this is how it works. And then there's another one here. I'm just going to accept that. This, with the goal, it's rephrases it and makes it shorter. So you understand. So that's that thing I was talking about, using fewer words to communicate more stuff. So it's giving me corrections, and I'm just going to accept those corrections, and it makes my writing better. It makes writing better. So you can then do this, and you see you did it, and that's giving you a result. So you can now download and use. So, but imagine if you had used just your eyes, you will not catch some of these things, and you will submit it like that, right? And the reader will just be pointing out, or the client you're written for will just be pointing out all the errors, and you'll be like, you're incompetent and all that. So Grammarly, the app is free, so open an account. The other method is to upload. So, oh, I'm downloading this. I'm supposed to upload, sorry. So I'm showing you the other method now, which is to upload a document, a pre-saved document in your system. So I can use, let me say I'm using Raji's assignment. I'm going to open this, and it's going to run it. It's just going to take a while. The same setup. I'll put this, I'll put formal, I'll put inform, sorry. And then I do done. Again, it has run the check, and it has made some recommendations. So you can see some red here and there. So this is part of the reasons why I said those people that just took the assignment and went to post it. It wasn't wise to do so. You should have waited for recommendation. So here are some corrections. For the purpose of laying, this is just to say to lay, right? This is how it has just made that long statement short. It makes your writing more, it makes it better, especially if you're writing content that you go to the web. For social content, you can still use it because you don't want to give off a wrong image of yourself. So I can just do this for this content, and then when I am done, I download it. So this is how you use Grammarly, right? So we move. So I'm back to presenting what I was presenting. So we're done with this. So general, I think I said your content heading is best written in the first letter capital. So I have explained this before, just like I did with this sentence. So you can see the way I wrote this whole sentence. Everything here is written in first letter capital. So if you have a heading slash subheading like how to write a professional CV, you should maintain consistency all through your content. So you can see first letter capital. So I think I already talked about this and we understand it already. Anybody that does not understand it, the question and answer session, don't have one subheading with all capital letters, another with small letters, another with first letter capital. So always use first letter capital. So I've also made this recommendation and I said why, because it's most popularly used. So write more in active voice than in passive voice. Leave the work and proofread the next day or after taking a break. So active voice, the way I'm talking to you now is active voice. Like I'm telling you what to do. You understand? Yeah. So that's active voice. So leave the work and proofread the next day or after taking a break. So don't proofread the work immediately after you finish writing. Your eyes will be fagged out. And also, there's a way your brain interprets something that your eyes is not seeing. So your brain actually knows what is supposed to be in a place. So sometimes when you're trying to proofread just after reading, your brain will be interpreting that thing it's wanted to put in that place. You get, but it's quite different from what your eyes are meant to see, but your brain will supersede at that point. So you have to leave it, use fresh eyes to view it so that you view it with fresh eyes, proofread the work 2 to 3 times. So if you have questions, always ask, take courses to improve yourself. So I think one other thing in proofreading, the ears catch errors faster than your eyes. So sometimes when you're proofreading, you try and speak out what you can try and read aloud to your hearing. So sometimes you find out that you'll be picking some of the mistakes that your ears will pick your mistakes faster than your eyes. So take courses to improve yourself. I have said that. For a competitive SEO content, you should be targeting 1,000 words and above, depending on the niche. Business niches use as much as 2,500 to 3,000 words. So if you're planning on entering business niche, just know that you'll be writing content high as 2.5 because business niche fall under the niche that we call your money or your life. YYP, I mean, how do they call it? YYL, I mean, your money, YMYL. YMYL. So all these niche search engines are very, very careful with the content they recommend. They don't want people to make mistake and lose their money or make mistake and go and take wrong health recommendations, wrong insurance recommendations. So that is why to enter any of this niche, it needs a lot of expertise. And that is also why we advise against being a jack of all trades. Because some of these niches, if you really want to be good at it and can rank content in it, you cannot be writing in this niche today and come back to it. You need to have dedicated your time so that you can even do a lot of understanding of that niche before you can write about it. So travel niches use like 1,000. Entertainment is even shorter. So entertainment and gist, that one, even 300 words, there are some gist. You can just say, wow, see what Davido did today, and people are clicking and clicking. So that's for entertainment. Same with sports. So career, scholarship, and education, you'll be talking about 1.5 words plus. So education and health usually take more. Business and health. So write expressively and ensure that you cover as much information as is needed in your content. Your target is to ensure that you don't leave your reader with half-baked information. So ensure you cover every necessary information that they would need to feel confident that they've gained enough knowledge after reading your content. So I usually tell my writers that if your friend, when you're writing a content, look at it this way. If your friend was to come to you tomorrow and say, I have a question, and the question is regarding that thing you wrote a content on, would you be confident enough to send them a link to that content you wrote? Say, oh, read this content. I have already covered everything you need to know. If you are not that confident, then know that your content is not yet up to par. So you have work to do. So that explains this. Have in mind that what you are writing has the potential to be identified by millions of people. You want to be sure that you are writing something worthy, something that will give a good impression of yourself as a writer and the organization. This also goes with the last advice here, the last guideline here. You understand? So I usually tell people, I say, imagine the largest football pitch in Nigeria, for instance. The largest football pitch is the one in Abuja. And I think the capacity of that pitch is not up to 40,000, right? So it means that at one single time in that pitch, you can't have more than 40,000. I don't think it's more than 40. I'm just guessing now. So 40,000. And then if you were to address a crowd of 40,000 people, they keep you there. Most of you will take months to prepare before you speak to that crowd, right? So you pray, you fast, you pray, you do all you have to do to speak to that audience, right? So why then, if you're writing content, do you not ensure that you give a proper representation of yourself? You understand? Because you do not know who is reading it, where the person is reading it from, and how the person is reading it. So I'm going to show you, for instance, this particular content. This content, don't look at this 18K. This content actually has more than that, because we have reviewed this site a couple of times, and then it starts counting from zero again. So in the lifetime of this content, for instance, I would guess this content has gotten up to 50K views, right? So in the lifetime of the content. So now imagine if we wrote this thing subpar, right? Imagine if we did not give it enough attention to write it properly. And this was since 2021, right? And we have revised it a couple of times. You can also see that we revised it last year. You understand? So revising means go back, adding fresh new information and all of those things to update the pages and all of that. So imagine if we did not write this content well and people just start seeing it, and the people will just start having bad impression about the organization. So, but people are seeing it, going to other pages because it is properly written. That is what this session is talking about. So it is always important that you give it a good thought. You do not know. You get sometimes the same thing with all these contents that go viral, whether video or audio content. You don't know who is coming, and you don't know when the algorithms push the content to more people. So you don't want to be found wanting. So actively take courses on grammar, writing, proofreading, and storytelling. So this is also going to help you. Aside this training we're giving, give it your all. Reduce your use of short form replies. So for people that use short form replies, reduce it. If you want to be a content writer, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. You get all those you have, sup, K, you get all of those things. Learn how to write properly so that you bring back your writing skills and eliminate some of those errors. All right. For best results, except otherwise stated, keep title between 5 to 7 words. So that should be 5 to 8 words though, with the key phrase included in the beginning. So this is when you're doing the research yourself. Sometimes we have scenarios where the keywords might be more than 7 or 8, but ensure that within that first 7, the particular key phrases that matter or keywords that matter will be there. So this is now SEO checklist. The one we're looking at were more like general. This is now we coming more into SEO, and I'm also going to be explaining why. Format your content properly, which is justify. I've mentioned it. The content topic should be on heading 1. I've also said this. Put your content in H1. Why the major subheading should be on H2. I explained this. Any subheading under H2 should fall under H3 to H5, as the case may be. I don't think I need to show this again because I already did that. So while using your key phrase as stated above, 60% of the related key phrases provided or the ones researched should be included in the body of your content. So for instance, if you have, this is your key phrase, for instance, format your content type properly, for instance, is your key phrase. Now, if you can put all of these, format your content properly, always ensure that 60% now could be content properly, right? Or your content properly. So ensure that this content maintains or has places where the 3 words together, your content properly, appears at least 3 to 4 times. I think I also explained that. The remaining 40% should be used subheading. So also in the headings, also ensure that your keywords appear in the headings of your content. So if you have 60% of your headings, 40% of it should have your key phrase. So I'm going to, let me read this other one so that I can exit and then show this. Do not use H5 or HC, e.g. if your key phrase, if how to win friends, your subheading should contain things like why you need to learn how to win friends, important. So this is just don't stay and use H5 or H6. H5 to H6 is not relevant. So whatever you're writing should follow that H2 to H4. Then also H5 or H6 should not be a standalone. It should always be under either a H3 or a H4. So why you should learn how to, so let me take from here. If your focus key phrase, so if the key phrase of a content is how to win friends, you should have subheadings that contain things like why you should learn how to win friends, important countries you must visit to learn how to win friends. So I'm just giving the listening is just giving instances, right? Conclusion on how to win friends. Like this is the way to add your key phrase, which is how to win friends. So from this now you can see that how to win friends is the key phrase. So in different headings, you should have that. So I'm going to take us back to some of these examples. So this content, for instance, best UK recruitment agencies that recruit foreign workers in 2023. So we're going to see how that plays out. So we have first heading, this is a H2, best UK recruitment agency for foreign workers. So it seems this is best UK recruitment agency is the key phrase. So you can see it has appeared on this heading, right? Let's see which other heading it appears. So all these are now the names of those companies. So, but let's see where else it appears, right? So we see it here again, best UK recruitment agency for nurses, right? So that is what that other this thing was saying, that if your key phrase is how to win friends, you should have subheadings that address things like best places to win, best places to learn how to win friends, best countries to learn how to win friends. You get all of those things help add life to your content. So this is UK recruitment agencies in Nigeria. This is conclusion, how to use it. So this is just ensuring that the key phrase appears in the subheadings. Then back to that other stuff I was trying to show us. No, this is it this? No. So how to write motivational letter for Europe University. So the H1, H2 that I was talking about, where is that? I think there was a this thing I created. Okay, here, that's it. So this, for instance, we're talking about H1, H2, H3 tags. This here is a H2 tag. So as you can see, heading 1. So it also has a way of directing the algorithm. So if I have a subheading, or subheading that stays best, let me say, best time to become a content writer, as a subheading under this content, is going to now be a H2, right? And then if I now have under this particular best time to become a content writer, if I have something like best time to become a content writer in your teenage. This is now a subheading under this one, this H2. So it's going to take a shape of H3. It's going to take a H3, right? So this is what we were trying to explain in the other distance. So this is now a H3. So that said, back to the slide. Back to the slide. Present. Okay, so this is it. So number 3, ensure you reference / backlink at least 2 to 3 external websites. I think I also showed this already. The content you backlink could be reference to relevant information or content. So in SEO, algorithms also check the quality of backlinks, because ideally you are not an island. There is no way everything you wrote, you brought it from your head. You learned somewhere, and you need to make references. Also, there are also things that for expanded reading, you have to also put backlinks to those this thing. Also, it helps the algorithms crawl your pages. We will talk more on those in subsequent class. Number 4, all external links used must have 50%, greater than 50% domain authority, verified domain authority with Ubersuggest or any other free plugin tool. We will discuss how to verify this later. So let's see, for best results, except otherwise stated, keep title between, sorry, this is repeated. Always open all external links in a new tab by toggling the switch. We're going to discuss this when talking about blogging. So there are 2 ways. So there is this thing that you can, when you click on a link on a particular site, right? It takes you to it opens in another page. So for instance, this link is active. If I click on it, instead of it opening in another page, it has opened in that same page. So it has left my site to another site, right? Now we're saying that this is not advisable, that on a normal day, it's supposed to open in another page instead of closing that page that the person is, because if it opens on that same page, the person has left our site just like that. So you can see that the mistake is actually on this content, which now that I know, it has to also be revisited. So, but let's look at this content, for instance, and see if the external links, if the links on it have the same thing, or if it obeys that rule. Where are the links on this page? So I have a link here. Let me see. This also opens on the same page. So this is actually not the way it's meant to be. It's supposed to open another page, which means the person who set up this content did not follow that rule. So because if this is taking the people out of our sites, is of no good. The only good thing now in this one is that this particular links is opening, is still, there are still links on our website. Had it been the links are taking people outside our website, it becomes a problem. You understand? Because those people can just go from there, you understand, and not come back to your page again. Okay, so that is a link, that's an external link, and it opened in another page. Are you seeing what I mean? So that one opened in another page. This was the page we're on, and by clicking it is an external link. What external link means? Link to another website. So when we open it, instead of opening on our page, instead of closing this page, it opened on another page, right? So this is the way it's meant to be. So when writing content, either for yourself or for clients, if you're adding external links to that content, ensure it's set up. Okay, this for blogging though. Ensure it's set up in a way that it opens on another page as opposed to opening in that same page. So that's for that's that for that. Where let me. So thank you for listening. I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you. So do we have question? Do we have questions? So I'm seeing, thank you for the applause. Thank you, I appreciate. So I'm seeing a question already. Please, sir, could you explain the use of H1, H2, H3? You were breaking. How did you say the header should be used? Okay. Did you later see it, or I should still go over it, Ogechi? Is she on this call? Is Ogechi here? Okay, Adetutu, your hands are up. So let me take your question, Adetutu. Where are the people that have questions? If you have questions, please let your hands go up so that I can address your question. Adetutu, you can take your question.
Good evening, Mr. Richard. Thank you so
Good
much
evening.
for the training. We really appreciate all the efforts you've put into building our capacity. My question is on the link within the content write-up itself. How do you include that link in the write-up so that it can refer whoever the reader is to more materials or more information? And then you were talking about external link. Is there some category of links that we should know about? Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here is a link, for instance, right, on a content. So I'm going to use this. So let me just assume this is I found this link relevant to a particular area I was writing about, right? And I want to put it on this post, on this particular post. For a Google Doc document, I'll just highlight that word. So I'm just using this for instance. So I want to put it on the word one way to, right? So, but usually the word you're putting it on should be relevant to that page that is going to open in. So if this is seasonal farm workers jobs in Spain, right, you should be putting it on something that either relates to farm workers or salary. Okay, or if I'm using salary, I have to ensure that in a way you understand is related to salary. So for instance, if this content that this lady, Nwobodo, wrote on SEO assignments, and then she wrote about how to value your writing as a content writer, or how to get paid as a content writer, she can hyperlink this place where people can go and check to estimate. This is a salary calculator. You can go and estimate and calculate what you can charge for content. You understand? So instead of teaching them or just telling them, oh, this is how, you can now show them, let's say we have a content, how to charge. Let's say we have a subheading. I hope you can see this part, how to charge for your content gigs, right? Let's say this is a subheading, right, under this topic. under this topic. This is going to be in H2. So this is going to be in H2 tag, right? So I can just say something like as. So let me remove this from editing so that, okay, it should be in editing now. Editing rather. So how to charge for your content gigs. So I'm just saying as a new B writer, one of the things you also need to know is how to charge for your gigs. You want to be careful not to overprice yourself or undervalue yourself. One of the best ways I found to do this is by using a salary calculator. We have different salary calculators, both free and paid, that can help you do this. First, you need to know what others charge and also what the industry cap is. So I'll just stop typing here. So I needed a set of write-ups so that I can use to make. So as usual, I have to justify this. I've told you guys the importance of justifying. So I've justified this. I'm just going to correct this minor typos and this. So remember I stated here, where's that? One of the best ways I found is to use a salary calculator. So on this word salary calculator, I can now hyperlink this website, which the website for a salary calculator. So I copy this link and I come here. So we have this, you see this sign here, insert link. You add this and then you just paste it there and then enter. It has entered. So when this content is pasted, I can click on this now and it will open that website. So if you're using a Google Doc, this is Google Doc. If you're using a Word doc, right, you highlight the same word, right click on it, you see somewhere that says insert link. And then you just click on that. It gives you a space. You can insert the link. So this is how you insert the link. And this is also how you think around links. Because in this place now, you cannot teach the person how to start calculating or how to use a salary calculator. Rather, you now recommend them to understand that. Now, the other way, if you're now uploading this on the site, this thing is automatically set in a way that it will open on that particular page. Like if you click on it, it will open on that page, as opposed to this one. So Google has its own automatic where it opens in another page. But if you're using your own website, maybe a WordPress website, it opens on another page. So you have to set it. There's another setting that is going to be in class. I think in the next session of this, the third session of this training, which talks about blogging. So that is also why we put blogging as part of the training. So after stage 2, which is SEO and more of the information about SEO, in stage 3, that's where we're now going to be showing some of this. Because remember I said that you can't talk about SEO content writing without discussing blogging at the end of the day. So for the person who was talking about H1, H2, so this is how H2 tags are added. So this is a H2 tag. Now, a H3 tag will not be, for instance, this is how to charge for your content writing gigs. If you have something like how to use, I'm trying to look for a related this thing. Okay, let's say method one. Method one. So under how to charge for your content writing, we have method one, or I'm sharing method 1, 2, and 3, right? Method 1, 2, and 3. So this my method, this ones now would not be a H3 because it is under a H2 tag. So my method 1 would be a H2. Then I can explain what it is I want in my method, or what I'm recommending in my method 1. Same thing, method 2 is also a H3. You understand? So this is how H3s are. So H3s are subheadings under a H2 tag, and all major headings in your content are H2. There's only one H1 tag in every content, and that H1 tag is your title. So I hope I use this to answer 2 of the questions I have gotten. So who else has questions? So that raise your hand and ask questions. I might not have strength to be reading all your questions. Raise your hand if you have questions. Raise your hand. So I think we don't have any more questions. Who else has questions? Please, if you have questions, raise your hand. Let me be sure so that I take all questions at once. It's not when I'm done, another person will raise. Who has question? If this is the only person that has question, I'm assuming this is the last question I have to deal with, and then we'll call it a night. All right. So, sorry. Success, you can take your question. Again, who has question? If you have question, please raise your hand now so that I know, and I know the number of people I'm treating their question. Success, go ahead, your question.
All right, sir. I want to ask you to, I don't know if you can repeat the instruction for the first assignment.
This assignment I just passed?
The one you said some of us didn't get the instruction, and we are posting on LinkedIn first. I don't know.
Okay.
The first class assignment, I guess.
Have you submitted your assignment?
I don't even know the assignment.
Were you in the class?
Yes, I was, but I was not network. I said I was having issues.
There was a mail that was sent regarding it. Did you see that mail?
No.
You can't say you did not see the mail now. A mail was sent within this week that just passed, reiterating the assignment again. And there were resources to the replay of that class and even class 1, including the other previous instructions. You did not get that mail, or are you sure you did? Did you check your?
I'll have to check. I'll have to recheck. I have several mails from Fast Share, so I'll have to check.
It's faster. Yeah. So as the mails are coming, you just look at them and you move on to another thing. Try and be attending to the mails now. The mails, we're sending them because they are relevant. If they are not relevant, we will not spend our time sending them. You get, because sir. Now even if I tell you the assignment, I cannot start explaining. You have to either go through the class 1 again to understand some of those things. The assignment is write a content on how to become a content writer. You understand? Okay. So that's the assignment. It's also in that mail.
Okay.
You get. Are you connected to me on LinkedIn?
Yes, I am.
So if you happen to did not see the mail, check your spam, check promotion if it's there, or check those mails you said you've been receiving that you have not checked. It should be there. You get.
Okay, sir. I'll check.
Yeah. So that is it. So that's the first assignment. Yesterday there was another assignment given. Did you take the screenshot of it?
Yes, I did.
Oluwakem, is now you're coming to class. Well done. No, class is about to end. Okay, that will be it. So you're already behind. there's also going to be another assignment for even this class. So I don't even know how you're going to do. Yesterday, there was already another assignment. So that's why you need to be keeping up with the pace so that things don't pile up. Who else has question? Muiz, go ahead with your question. I hope I've treated your distance success.
Now, thank you very much, sir, for the class
Yes,
tonight.
yeah.
Really educative. The question I have is that you did some corrections to some people's work on the assignment on how to become a content writer. So I think yesterday you mentioned that the correction you make, that others will now like implement those corrections in their work, because I have sent my work. So should I wait for the review, or I can go on and do the corrections?
Is you do the correction now. So the people that maybe send their work and it was not attended to, is probably because you submitted late, right? And what I mean by late is the assignment was given, I think, Wednesday. We started receiving the assignments by Thursday, and I started treating them. As a matter of fact, there were some people I treated their own midnight, and I replied them, they replied back. You get that same midnight, and I replied back again. So you can see how dedicated it has been. Friday, I still attended to, right? Because I know we didn't have class on Friday. By Saturday, the people, anybody I did attend to, are either people that submitted from Saturday to Sunday. You get, so now that we have gone through this session, both the things I talked about from the people's review and the things now that I have taught regarding how SEO writing guidelines, you need to now use it and apply it in your own correction. You understand? So if you submitted your first assignment, it was not attended to, everything that was discussed in this class, use it and go back to your content. And yesterday's class, use it and go back to your content and address it. Then when writing the second assignment, ensure you submit on time, because if by the next class, we get to the next class, I have not reviewed the assignments, I'm now thinking of the next set of assignments. I'm not going to go back. So second assignment is coming. I have given guidelines. I have taught you SEO checklist. Follow those instructions. I want to also see backlinks now in your content. So last assignment, you just wrote the assignment and we left you to just write. Now you want to now be applying the concept of backlinks, spacing, using H1 tags, using H2 tags, using focus key phrases where they are necessary. So for instance, yesterday assignment, can I even remember the title again? Who remembers the title? Who remembers the title of yesterday's assignment? Who remembers yesterday's assignment? What was yesterday's assignment?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What was yesterday's assignment?
Yeah, it was about writing the five. It was writing the 5 books.
Top 5 books.
Yeah, top 5 books that are good for personal development.
Development. So, all right, great. Yes. So, top 5 books for personal development was the assignment. Write a content on top 5 books for personal development. So it means that in that assignment where you're submitting it, I need to see backlinks to either something or something. I don't know how you're going to, but I showed you how to think of the way to add external links that would add more value or more reference to your content. Also, it could even be blogs that you read to get more. You can, at the end of your content, you write reference, put 1 or 2, 3 blogs that you read. But aside that, you also need to know internal linking. Try and see how you can do that. I've thought about H tags. So you need to now think about how to put your contents well arranged in H2 tags, H3 tags. We talked about how to add other relevant information and how they can be arranged. So you need to apply all of those things now in this assignment that is coming. You get, so that is it for the next assignment that you have. Any other thing? Any other question? Okay, so in the absence of any other question, let me also guide for this week's content. I know the first week we asked you people to just write. We wanted you to just express yourself as it were, right? But in this coming week, we want to help you refine your writing area. So in this coming week, your writing should all be focused on content writing. So go to this website, answerthepublic.com. Go and see some questions they are asking about content writing. So you can just come here. This is in Nigeria. So I'm just going to do content writing. And then I'm going to do search, right? So all of you want to scroll down and see popular questions they're asking in Nigeria with regards to content writing, and pick 5 of those questions and start answering them. So those 5 questions or 6 questions, you're going to pick 6 questions now, are going to form your content for this week. So you can write a content on difference between content writing and blogging, or content writing versus creative writing. So you can pick any 5. So no matter the number of people here, there are a lot of content suggestions that content writing versus articles. You get questions. Where are those? Where's the part of question? Questions, 49 questions. Where to do content writing, where to practice. So you can just find relevant information that you can write on. How to content writing for website. So you can rephrase this content to how to write content for websites, how to write content. This is not for you. What content writing is all about. You can even create a content on what content writing is all about, what content writing means. So whatever you pick, just use it. Pick 6, and that forms your content from Monday to Saturday. Whatever you want to post on Sunday, it's left to you. So you want to start building your credibility too in content writing. You want to start showing that you understand content writing and the nitty-gritties. And writing on these things will help you also be making some research about the industry, so that you also know what to present, how to present. So content writing jobs you get, you can even write about websites to find content writing jobs. There are a lot of things you can work on. So go to this site. Everything you're going to write this week for the writing challenge has to be related to content writing. So you can even say, okay, you don't want to use content writing as a key phrase. You can just use content, or you can use writing, and you just make a search, writing, find out, pick your 6 content. All of them, some of them you might have to just do a bit of research and see what is already there, then summarize it in your words and give out your own content. So it must be for social media. This one now is for social media. Make it simple, right? Writing style, writing font style, types of writing formats. You can do anything. Writing free. What is freelance writing? Start talking about writing. So this one now you're doing, you can now even start expanding your scope. You can go side of LinkedIn, even though you're going to do that LinkedIn, because that's where we're tracking the challenge. You can now start posting it on other social platforms that you're there, so that people can already start relating with you and content, so that when you're done and you're set to charge for SEO writing services, you are still building credibility in the hearts of people in this field. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Please unmute yourself and reply if I'm making sense.
Yes, it does.
All right, great. So this week, all we're writing is content writing related topics, or writing related topics. So draw your sword and get to work. Who else? That's for the challenge. Again, if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, you're doing yourself a disservice because I can't guide you or provide guidance because I will not be seeing what you're doing. If you're lagging behind in the writing challenge, you're doing yourself a disservice. After the next class, which is proofreading, we're going to take a record and find out people who have been consistent. And sadly, some people might not follow us to the next stage of this training. It's just the truth. Because, like as I've been saying, the energy that it takes to carry everybody along, I want to be sure that I'm carrying the people who are really serious. I already told you now that the other day I was reviewing people's assignments at night. So, and I want to also be sure that I'm maximizing my energy and not just throwing it. So, ensure if you're lagging behind, do what you can now to cross over to the next class, because what will just happen is that after the next class and the assignments, what we're just going to ask you, show proof of the classes that you've been attending. These screenshots we've been asking you. So when you come and we say, write your attendance and screenshot, you're going to show it. You're going to send us link to the assignments. Links to your writing challenge. And if by Wednesday, which is the last class, that should be day 10 in the writing challenge. So if we're not seeing up to 10 links, 10 different days. So if you have one day and you posted 4 content on one day, it does not count. It counts as just one. So we want to see your consistency in the last 10 days in following what we have been doing, to know that you can even follow us for the next 20 days or the remaining 20 days. Also, we will ask you for assignments. You are going to show proof of the assignments you've been given, that you have been doing them. So try as much as you can so that you can make it through to the next stage of the training. As you can see, there is a lot we have to offer, but we want to offer it to people who can carry on. We're not saying there's anything wrong with you if you not move on to the next stage. We're just saying that we need to maximize our energy and our time. You understand? And hopefully, when the videos for the replace for these other classes are ready, if you happen not to make it to the next stage because you were not keeping up, you can watch the videos and continue the learning from there. So, but the only part you'll be missing is that our direct one-on-one coaching and guidance, you might not now have it because you were lagging behind. So don't lag behind. And that is, I've been begging from day one, don't lag behind, because it might just come like a shock you get. So ensure that you are doing the right things. Success, do you still have another question, or is the previous question? Ogechi, if you have question, please take your question.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for this section. Please, I wanted to ask, just to know, confirm that I heard you correctly, because you were breaking then. When you were talking about formatting our contents properly.
Yes.
You said that the heading should be in H1.
Yes.
Then subsequently, like a subheading, right? H2 and
the title
continue.
is H1.
Okay, the title H1.
Is H1.
Then
Yes.
subheading H2, then continuously, right?
Yes. So all major subheadings are H2, right? So, but if we have any subheading under a H2, it now takes it. I hope, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry, I got a call. Can you hear me? Sorry, I got a call. I'm trying to
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, for instance, this is H1. This is the title of the content. You can only have one H1 in every content. That's the title. So this is a subheading and it takes H2. That is what you can see here. So we don't have any subheading under this H2. So if there was a subheading, it would have taken H3. So the next heading we're having is this, is it takes H2. Then the subheadings under it, there are subheadings under this, it automatically takes H3. If there was a subheading under this particular subheading, it would have been H4. But since we don't have, this is also a subheading under this H2, so it's H3. So it's more like the way, if you remember how we used to write notebooks as when we were young in school and all, in primary school specifically, because I know in primary and secondary school, yeah, that's when we did that a lot. You know, when you want to enter a new term, you write something, new term begins here, right? You, in short, some people will give one whole page for that part where they wrote new term begins here. I hope you guys remember. Or is it only me that went to that kind of? If you can remember, please let me know that you can remember. So you write very big, new term begins here. So let's assume that that part where you wrote new term begins here is a H1 tag, because it begins the content of that term. Now, when the teacher introduces the first topic in that term, you write it at the top of your book. Now, that one you wrote can now be seen as, let's say, a H2. Then remember that there are different subheadings. For instance, the title of the topic for that day is types of farming, and you wrote types of farming. So types of farming becomes H2. And then number one, subsistence farming. So subsistence farming now becomes a H3 because it's under a H2. Am I making sense? Are we understanding how the formulation works?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So one last example I'm going to use is, we want to write the content on family. So the title of the content is family life. So family life is the title. Family life is a H1 tag. Now, when writing about family, we have a subheading called types of family. Types of family as a subheading in the original title of family. So types of family is a H2. So we head into, we make it bold. Remember, if it was your notebook when you were in school, some of you will make it bold. Some of you might write it in all caps. You get, some people will use pen to make it bold so that you know, and some people will underline it. All of those things you're doing is similar to what you do with the computer when you put your content in H tags, you get. So when you have types of family, you understand. When you now start explaining the different types of family, those different types of family will now be H3 under that H2, under that types of family, which is H2. Now, if you want to define who a man is in a family, you get in a subsistence family, that's a subsistence family line. That was for farming. In a nuclear or extended family, right? So you want to define who a man is. That definition is now under, let's say, a type of family called nuclear family. That man or woman or wife or husband, as a definition, can now even be a H3 under the nuclear family as a H2. So I hope I threw enough light on that. So the same way applies when you're writing web content. You understand, you use those hashtags to represent them in different ways so that it makes the reading easy and transparent. Okay, who else has question?
Thank you, sir.
All right, question please.
Okay. So
Please, I have a question.
Okay. Should I go first?
Who is saying he has question?
May I raise up my hand, Moise?
Okay, Moise, ask your question.
Okay, now regarding the content, the challenge content for this week now, I want to clarify something. before you've instructed us that we should write something personal to our experience, like we should personalize the content. So in this case now, in what capacity are we writing? Is it as someone that, like, I don't know, the content I've always written, like I personalize in the way that I use I something like that is personal. So in this new one for this week, like in what like capacity are we writing? That's what I want to get. What tone?
So when writing the content for this week, right, it's more like you defining or explaining the things you're learning, right? So as you're making those research, you're not using I, right, as the case may be. You can even be writing in a third person, for instance, or you can just write in a neutral way. For instance, I discovered, or here are, let's say, for instance, 5 websites to find content writing jobs, right? Here are 5 websites to find content writing jobs. So in the past couple of days, I'm explaining to you a content now from the top of my head. So the title of the content is now 5 websites to find content writing jobs. And I say, in the past couple of days, I've been learning about content writing. And one of the things that have triggered my interest is, after learning content writing, where am I going to find jobs to apply for as a content writer? So in my search, I have discovered some of this content, and I wish to share it with you all. Number one is Writers Gig, for instance. So Writers Gig is a platform designed by so and so. It's being run by so and so company. You can apply for jobs ranging from script writing, SEO writing, this writing, that writing, and as the case may be. So I've explained Writers Gig. Number two website, Upwork. I found out Upwork is where you can connect with international clients and all that. You explain Upwork. You can even add the website to Upwork for people who want to check Upwork out. Number three, number four, number five. So the same you have used that same process, and you have also passed your message. So for instance, another one, if you're answering, let's say, difference between content writing and content marketing, that's another topic, that's another title of a topic. I say most times people confuse content writing and content marketing, and I wish to use this content to explain the difference between the two. Let's say, for instance, see content writing as a way of communicating information. They see content writing as a way of using information to sell something. You get. Now, that said, here are the definitions I have taken. So according to encyclopedia, or according to this website, content writing is defined as this one is defined as that. Are you getting the point? I hope I'm making sense. Are you getting the point?
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
that's for that. So Adetutu, please, your question, and that's the last we're taking for tonight, and then we're calling it a day.
Okay, thank you once again. Please, I want to clarify the process. Because I didn't get the clarification earlier. So for all our write-ups each day, excuse me, do we have to send it via mail to you to vet it
No,
before
no,
we now post it on our?
no. It was only, I said, assignment. Assignment is what you're submitting to the mail. For your daily challenge, I can easily see that one from LinkedIn. And I think some people are already aware. Most times I give directive, like I guide, you understand. I go through the challenge, the people going through the challenge. I check their contents. Where I have to make recommendation, I send them a message. I make recommendations where necessary. So that you don't have to send to me. You get. Your assignment is what you send to the mail. What you do with your writing challenge, so far you use the hashtag. I can see everybody's post. You can see everybody's post. So also try to interact with other people's posts and other people in the challenge. Once you click on that hashtag, fast hire content, you will see everybody's post from day one till today. So you can also interact with their posts, leave comments, leave likes, and you people can also connect with each other. You understand, as the case may be. So you do not send me the link. The time we would ask for the link is when we want to take stock or when we want to take account of the first stage of this training. We would request some information from you. Part of that information include your class attendance. That is why we've been saying from last class, we said, if you come to class, sign in, write your name, the date, and the name of the class and the class. So this is class 4. So you need to take a screenshot of that after you've written it. That's when it gets to that time, we will ask you for your assignments, links to your posts that you're making, and then proof of your class attendance. But until then, you don't need to send it to us. You only need to send your assignments to the mail that has been provided. I think that is clear now.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. So that will be all for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. See you guys next class. So next class is on proofreading and editing. Again, for people who they sent the assignments, but it was not attended to, probably because you submitted late. Take what we have taught in this class and yesterday's class, refine that your assignments and make it better. Then the assignment 2 that was given yesterday, look into it and use the same lessons I have given today and the ones taught yesterday and address it. The next class is on Wednesday. So don't send your assignments on Wednesday. I will not attend to any assignments submitted on Wednesday because by Wednesday, I'm already thinking about the class for the day and other stuffs. So you have Monday, you have Tuesday. Ensure you can submit your assignment within these 2 days so that I can look at it and give recommendations when necessary. You understand? Or on time, you get. Then your writing challenge, I have already given directives. So it also solves the problem of, I don't know what to write. I don't know, you understand? So now you know that everything you're writing this week is about your content writing journey. You understand? Or improve it, because you need to also be invested in the field. So that will be all for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a lovely. All right. Good night, everyone. You can say good night to the others
Thank
and
you
then
so
sign
much,
out.
sir. Good night, sir.
Good night,
All
sir.
right.
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
All right.